What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Adam, are you alive today? I gotta know. How are you feeling?
What a day, man. Holy smackers. The timeline was on fire yesterday. Good stuff, man. It's you don't often get thrust into controversy on the timeline, especially with what we do, which is, we make cross-chain tools. So it's usually not that controversial. But yesterday we hit on the timeline. It was pretty funny. I mean, it's kind of crazy when like people, like in the Bitcoin space are like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like literally in DMs, like, what are you guys doing? Like, is this a scam? And I have to like explain what we're actually building, No, it allows people to move tokens to a different, platform. And, this is what it is. And so that's kind of funny. And you just see how and this is everybody, gets siloed. You just have a silo of information and you just see like one little post from what looks like a trusted source. And you're like, whoa, are those guys over at Emblem doing scams over there? It's so funny to see people's reactions. But the moment like they actually take a minute to actually dig in, complete shift, right? And they're like, oh, I see what's happening here. And, so it's all good. But people do have to do a little bit of digging to, cut through the noise and actually figure out what the heck's happening.
Yeah, we been doing migrations for a while. We knew migrations would be controversial, at least certain areas of it, right? So you try to address it as much as possible. believe it or not, Emblem Vault was actually considered a controversial product at one point in time, bridging Bitcoin NFTs to ETH. People hated that shit. People were so
literally, people don't even, it's so, when it becomes normal, like it's normal now that you would buy a rare Pepe on OpenSea, but that doesn't mean that there wasn't significant blowback at the start. And those people have been proven wrong. Like those people who were like, no, if you're Bitcoin, you're Bitcoin. You buy with Bitcoin, you have a Bitcoin wallet. And those people were wrong. And I think given enough time, we'll prove, the haters wrong on this one as well.
Yeah, as we do. It's also had some controversy that I've researched over time and seen is actually trying to sell your time tokenized, right? Absolutely. So we're lucky to be talking with Pedro today, who's the CMO at Time.Fun.
Let's go.
As Adam and myself stem from the historical NFT community last cycle, there's been many attempts actually at this, dating all the way back to, was it Let's Talk Bitcoin, Adam? Is that what the platform was that tried to do this in like 2014?
Yeah, basically Adam Levine, who did Let's Talk Bitcoin, he was basically the first token I know of was basically you buy, an hour of time with Adam kind of thing. You buy these things and then if you redeemed them to him, you book a Skype call or whatever it was back in the day. So he was kind of the first that I'd heard of to kind of sell their time in that sort of way. On the blockchain, there were ones before kind of off chain, people trying this out. And I'm excited to dig into what Time.Fun's doing and how they're kind of putting their own new spin on it.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got a lot of people on the live stream today. So Capo says the team is stacked. Appreciate that. And Bratushi says, good morning, big dogs. Over 150 people already here hanging out. So without further ado, Pedro, appreciate you for joining us, sharing your time, and also for building something super cool, man. How are you doing today?
We got the time for free.
Doing well. Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I don't know what the Adam Levine thing is. All I know is Maroon 5, the band Adam Levine.
Yeah, that's why he actually branded. If you look on Twitter, he's Adam B. Levine.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the super
good branding, good differentiator.
Yeah, he had the Let's Talk Bitcoin podcast with Andreas Antonopoulos, basically the first real big Bitcoin podcast. He was huge and actually had some of the first successful like token platform protocol type stuff. He basically put Let's Talk Bitcoin on Counterparty back in the day, and it let you, as you posted like blog posts and stuff like that, you would get paid in this token, and the token had some value. So it's like he did some really interesting experimentations, and one of these was this idea of selling his time. Basically tokenize that process. But can you give us all kind of an overview of how you guys are spinning this, and just give a description of like how the tokenomics work and stuff like that?
Yeah. So just for those who don't know what the app is, Time.Fun's an app that allows you to connect with and invest in different founders and creators. So what you essentially do is you buy a creator's minutes, and then you can use those to either speculate on their time. So again, their time market could go up. You could say, hey, this is an early creator, early founder that I believe people will want to talk to more. So maybe I'm just going to hold his time, or maybe I'm going to use it to redeem and actually connect with them. So you can connect with them via DMs, group chats, voice calls, video calls. We now have gated live streams as well. We have auctions. So we have a lot of different ways that you can connect with these creators by buying their minutes. But again, there's a lot of different benefits. So to your question on tokenomics, so creators get paid. They don't actually need to hold any of their supply, and we actually encourage them not to hold their supply. They just get paid on every single transaction, so every trade of their minute, and every single time that they redeem their time. So if you send Ansem right now a $100 DM, Ansem gets about, I think, $95 of that, and the other $5 is split in three ways. One, it comes to the Time.Fun team. Two, it goes to what we call the award pool, which is essentially just giving back to holders. So it kind of rewards holders in that way as well. And then three, we just burn the other percent. So it's more of a deflationary aspect for the token. And that breakdown is, the percentages are a little different from the trading the minutes, but same thing. A portion gets burned every single trade. A portion goes to the award pool, which is the holders. And then a portion goes to the creators in Time.Fun.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting platform, pretty cool. How long have you guys been working on it? And also, was Solana the first chain that you guys had decided to build on, or was this something that progressed as the development of the product was built?
Yeah, so it's been about a year and a half. So Kaz started this January of 2024, like right after the whole like friend tech demise and everything, and thinking about like how do you kind of tokenize connections. And then the initial launch was on base, and that was more of like a soft launch, pre-launch, kind of just like testing out the idea and seeing if people would be interested in it. And that's when I joined around August of last year. And yeah, we've been on Solana since February. So we officially did a Solana launch end of February, I think February 24th. So it's been about 5 months since we've launched.
Interesting. Yeah, it seems like this is when you guys really took off with the kind of new, I guess you call it InfoFi, SocialFi take and spin on different products that are across Solana itself.
Yeah. And I mean, we didn't really go towards the InfoFi thing. We're not really getting rewarded for like your awareness, your engagement as much, I'd say. And it's more about those deeper connections that you would have. And we even tried, like, we almost partnered with an InfoFi project just to see, like, hey, let's reward people who are posting on X and stuff. And it just ended up becoming a lot of like AI slop and people who weren't truly engaged with our product, who were just like farming. So we got rid of that immediately. And we're like, no, you know what? Let's focus on like the core users, the core people who are actually trying to connect with these creators, or even just obviously invest in them.
Yeah. How do you think about it? Like, I mean, because I've seen something very similar to this. It's kind of like in the VC space. You may have seen it. I can't remember the name of it.
Intro.co.
Yeah, it was like the more like high net worth or high cost.
Yeah.
Which we totally get. Yeah. I mean, is it just that it's running on crypto rails and therefore it's like an easier system, and then it's kind of tied into the crypto community, or how do you look at what your guys?
I think we have a few bigger advantages. Yeah, obviously the crypto rails is a bigger advantage, but they take a steep cut. I think they take 30% of redemption. So yeah, they have big founders who are getting like $10,000 or even $100,000 per call, but they're taking a steep percentage of that. Where, like I mentioned, only 5% is being taken out, and that's not even all coming to us. Like that's also going to burns and award pools and your holders and stuff. So there's obviously that thing. Intro and things like that also just have like DMs and calls where we try to add a little bit more fun, where it's like auctions, live streams, more interactive. And then, yeah, we're not really just focused on founders, although a lot of our main people are founders. Like we have the Tollys of the world and the Mertz and the Austin Federas and them. But yeah, it is more just like anyone that you would want to connect with that you might not otherwise be able to. This is a great platform for you.
I'm curious about this dilemma and how you guys approach this from the business development side. As somebody who is consistently DM'd, myself, a founder, there's and between, you know, operating the business and talking with your community members and your users versus trying to divide your time for a payment method and something like Time.Fun. What type of, you know, I guess you'd say, like, what's the communication angle of talking with these different types of individuals with larger accounts and trying to, you know, migrate them from a, you know, free model where they're just answering any type of DM to this kind of payment model on the platform?
Well, the benefit of Time.Fun is it almost acts like a filter for spam. Like all these bigger accounts that have their DMs open on X are just getting flooded with thousands of DMs all the time. And a lot of them are just like, you know, either like agencies or people shilling things or whatever. And then it almost makes them not answer any DMs anymore because it's like, well, what am I going to parse through all of these? And it's just a waste of time. So Time.Fun can act like a filter for them. Like people like Holy and like Mert don't answer DMs on X, and they just say, you know what, now I'm just going to be answering DMs on Time.Fun because I know it's a more serious inquiry, and it acts like a filter. And yes, some things might get through the cracks, but like for somebody like Totally, like $500 per DM, it's really going to filter out to only like super serious inquiries. But then other people want to be more active and use it more of a minor filter. So some people like Mert still just have $20 per DM. Although he could probably increase that, he wants to be more active and allow more people to be able to engage with him.
And what type of channels do you guys tokenize in terms of, I guess you'd say tokenizing their time? There's direct messages, group chats. I believe there's like
so it's just
calls.
one. It's just one. Like it's just one creator gets a token for their time, and then you can buy those minutes to redeem across all those products. So it's not like you need to do multiple tokens across each thing. It's just the minutes is kind of the underlying currency across all of them. But that being said, like the market price that the minutes determines is not necessarily what the price you're going to pay. So like you can set fixed prices. So Tolly's, for example, is 500 per DM. So if his minute price is $1, you'd need 500 minutes. If his minute price is $2, you need 250 minutes, for instance, to connect with him.
And what other channels are you guys considering adding, and what is like the most requested? Obviously DMs are there, and I saw voice calls, but it looks like you guys are looking into
we have
streaming and such.
Yeah, we have DMs, voice calls, video calls, group chats already. Live streams already live, which again, for live streaming is not like we're trying to compete with like these bigger Twitches and Kicks or whatever. Like this is more for like intimate one-on-one connections. Like you own a certain amount of somebody, then you have more intimate access to them and they can bring you up on stage with them. So it's kind of like a more personal, deeper connection. But our next bigger product, I'd say, is custom products. So that'll be something like people are always getting requested like, hey, I'll pay you X amount for a thread or for a tweet or for a retweet. So you'll be able to kind of offer different types of work that people can pay a fixed standard price for. So that's probably the next bigger product that's going to be coming out after this. But yeah, I mean, our main thing that we're focused on right now is the app. So our app should be out very soon, and it'll be out both in iOS and Android stores. And then once that happens, we're going to really do a major shift towards Web 2. So like obviously we're built in Web 3, but we built this for Web 2. Like if you go to our site, everything is USDC to decrease volatility, easy on-ramp, easy off-ramp. Like if you're a celebrity or founder or whoever, and you join the app, you shouldn't really even know it's crypto other than the time market. But again, you might not even know it's crypto if you're not familiar with that.
It's interesting you're thinking of doing the pay for, you know, a post or a thread. I think it's actually, that may be a better version than, you know, Kaido and the kind of Yap thing, which we all recognize creates a ton of noise, slop, whatever you want to call it. Where if you can kind of hit into this, I mean, right now it's fragmented, right? If I need to, or if I want a KOL or something, I either approach one of these like shady groups, or, you know, I'm in DMs with individuals, I guess you'd say. How are you thinking about going about that in a way that, you know, kind of, it's almost like you need to connect quality people with quality projects and being that kind of bridge between the two? How are you thinking about that? Because that could get a little bit messy and complicated.
I'm not sure if this is answering your question because I'm not sure I understood the question.
Okay,
But
so well, let me clarify. For example, I have a project, but I'm a shady dude, and this is a shady project. But I go to Mert and I say, hey, I'm willing to pay for a post. You know, how does Mert, you know, he might not want to go in and research and kind of figure out if this is if he even wants to make the
oh
post.
yeah. So like on our side, like we understand that's an issue, but also the issue of like somebody sending you a DM and you might not want to answer it, right? So we already have, our system is essentially like an escrow system where I'll give an example for DMs. If I send $100 DM to Ansem, he does not have to answer it. And if he does not answer it, I get a full refund in USDC. So whatever I put in, I get back if they don't answer. So it's an easy thing there. And that would be a similar thing for custom products. Like somebody might offer you money, but just as anywhere in life, you could reject it and they would get their full refund.
Gotcha. It's really cool. I mean, I love the idea. Obviously, we've seen a couple of success. Obviously, I think maybe Cameo is probably the one that so many people faded. Like, this is impossible. This will never work. And yet it completely works. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And one of our lead investor actually is the investor who was the lead investor for Cameo and Masterclass.
Oh, wow.
So we definitely understand that we're in that same area. And we also are backed by crypto side with like Coinbase Ventures and also the Solana founder. So like, yeah, we were really intentional about who to engage with from the investor perspective.
Are you thinking about like, just as you're building the business, are you just trying to like try different things until you see the one that's like, oh my God, this is the winner? Like whatever. Selling posts on X, right? If that can be the winner, right? Are you just systematically trying different things to try and figure out the winner, or are you just like, well, let's just
no,
tell me.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, I think from the beginning, it's always been, we want to be the way that you can connect with people that you wouldn't be able to connect with otherwise. So what are the ways that you could do that? Obviously, the easy ones are, oh, if I want to connect with somebody, I want to do a DM with them, or I want to do a call with them, or I want to do a group chat. So those are like the easiest products. But as we're developing more of that like relational thing, like those are very one-to-one type products. We start thinking about like one-to-many products. So that's where we're thinking like, okay, live streams and auctions, like other fun ways to connect. So it's all about, at the end of the day, like connecting people and ensuring on the user side, it's like allowing you to connect with people. On the creator side, it's, hey, monetization is a big issue in this space. Let's ensure that you get paid for the things that you do. So like we're kind of that middleman for that as well.
So thinking about the broader narrative, you said you're expanding to Web 2. You mentioned something, said the time markets, and I hadn't even considered kind of what that actually means or what that entails. But then you mentioned things like Masterclass and Cameo. So if you could actually expand on the idea of what time markets are, what other categories are large that your product would like to tokenize, and then just thinking about the broader strategy.
I mean, right now it's just tokenizing the creator's time. So again, like I mentioned before, like it's you buy the creator's minutes and you use those to redeem them across all the products. So it's not really any more complex than that. There's not any more tokens or anything behind that. It's literally Pedro signs up. Pedro now has a time market. I can now buy his time to connect with him in whatever way I want that we offer. So that'll be the same for Web 2 people. And that's why we tried to make it again a very Web 2 easy concept. Like, hey, buy someone's minutes, redeem those minutes to connect with them. It's like a pretty one-to-one easy way for them to understand.
And how does the speculatory aspect of it work? Since all of these are fungible tokens, right? You're somewhat tokenizing a person, but in abstract way, it's their time. It's representative of their time. There's people in this chat that I know that are big speculators on Time.Fun itself. So how does the volatility, impact somebody's time, and how does Time.Fun manage different types of tokenomics of the platform?
Yeah, that's a good question. So obviously we put things in place, like we mentioned, like we have the burning mechanism. Every single time you do a trade, every single time you redeem minutes, you get a little bit of it burned. So obviously that's a deflationary aspect for the token. Obviously when tokens launch, we've partnered with Meteora to ensure that there is bot prevention or fees on top of that to try to minimize that volatility. Obviously that type of stuff can still happen, but like with all tokens. But at the end of the day, one of the reasons we built in fixed products or fixed prices is to kind of avoid that. So like if I hop on today or tomorrow or next week, I always know that I can instantly buy Toli's minutes for $500 and connect with him for $500. Like that will not change. So we've completely removed the volatility there. But from an investment perspective, you can still buy in and speculate and see when things go up or down. Like when Toli had his auction, so I don't know if you saw, he auctioned off almost like Shark Tank, like 10-minute pitch meetings with him. And people ended up bidding 25,000 each.
Wow.
And it raised $75,000 for St. Jude's because Toli donates 100% of his earnings to St. Jude's. Things like that, like obviously people are like, oh, Toli's auction's coming up. Let me like buy early, or let me like speculate on the time. So like obviously those are like triggering events when things happen where people will want to connect with people more. So again, it's the same as anything. Like when you see more people talk about it and when you see a big event coming, you go try to invest.
Yeah. So the burn mechanism then, in theory, makes the person's time more valuable as more users are
100%.
are redeeming his time, right? Is that like a built-in mechanic that you guys are purposely trying to implement?
100%. Yeah. And I think Toli's time has already, like, each creator gets 100,000 tokens, and like I think Toli's already has 9% is burned. So obviously, like the more and more, and this is still early, like the more and more people trade him, the more and more people redeem, the more tokens will be burned, the more the price will go up.
Interesting. Chris, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I love this concept. And I love that you keep on kind of using Toli as an example, because I know that he's a super big fan of like this kind of market. Bit of lore is actually, I think it started I think he actually posed the idea for this exact product in like late 2020 or 2021, early bear market or pretty late bear market, maybe right after FTX. And he was like going through his emails and he was like looking, I think he posted that he wanted this concept built. And then some degen from the community built this thing, I'm pretty sure it was called TipLink, and he built it in like 24 hours. And it was an email system. You can email back and forth between Toli. I actually have some emails with Toli that cost $5 back in the day using TipLink. You deposit in USDC.
Oh, that's funny.
Are you familiar with the TipLink product or that kind of narrative that started it all by chance?
Oh, no, not at all. Again, we kind of based this, or we're inspired by this through like intro and friend tech.
It's interesting because it's the same exact kind of concept where pay the escrow deposit to message or email the founder or person on the other side. They only get the money when the email is responded to. And it's just like a really novel concept that I think is really huge. And then when I saw Time.Fun kind of peaking up, I was like, oh, dude, that's like the perfect encapsulation of that idea. So it's interesting that maybe you've never even heard of that or that story, but that's kind of how it started. And Tully was like a really, really big proponent of that exact kind of business model and tokenizing time in that manner. And you guys have knocked it out of the park. What do you think? I'm kind of curious, which I'm assuming messaging is your biggest kind of market at the moment. What's like your can you go through like the popularity of the different categories within your platform?
Yeah, definitely DMs. There have been thousands upon thousands of DMs sent. And the cool thing is, I think the last time I looked, it was like 85% response rate. So people are actually responding. All these big creators and founders are actually using it. So that's by far number one thing. Next would probably be group chats. A lot of those group chats are super active with just like, obviously not even the creator being in there. Like they sometimes are, but the cool thing about group chats, just like with friend tech, is like it almost becomes like mini communities within themselves too. So those are super active. And then yeah, probably goes voice and video calls.
Epic. And you know, like we work in crypto and you're like a niche celebrity in crypto, right? Like it's kind of like you know,
I don't know about all that. I don't think I am yet.
no, I mean like crypto influencers are niche mini micro celebrities in the scheme of like,
even like Tolly, right? We all know him, but like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Friends outside of crypto, zero people know.
So like the monetization for someone like a Justin Bieber or like a Selena Gomez or like a Donald Trump. I mean, what are the top creator earnings like on the platform of internet celebrities, and what can they possibly be like if you actually break into the realm of real high level global superstars?
I mean, I know that I guess I don't know how much other creators are making outside of Web3. Obviously, a shit ton, like Bieber's, and I think Kim Kardashian charges like millions per post. So obviously, that's like a huge market in that sense. From a Time.Fun perspective, Totally is definitely number one. I think he's close to making 400,000 or around that on his 5 months in Time.Fun. But again, I think one of the bigger things for Web 2, especially these people who don't necessarily need the money, is that donation aspect. So we have where you can automatically donate a percentage of your earnings to charity, up to even 100%. So obviously like Totally does 100%, Raj does 100%. So I think those are also mechanisms that, although we built in to be like giving back, you know, and we've already donated, our creators have already donated around $500,000 to charity, like St. Jude's, Make-A-Wish, Innocence Project, like a lot of cool places. But I think that's another way that's going to help us, because a lot of the big creators we've talked to have said, like, I don't really need the money, but I do have this issue of DMs or calls or whatever. And this is like a good way to get them in.
Well, it's fantastic. To Chris's point, it's like I saw an article, I don't know, it was about Cameo, and it's like some dude from like The Office or something. Like I don't even know which guys, some like, you know, Office guy number 4 makes like $3 million a year on Cameo. It's like the
exactly. Yeah.
Out. Like Hard Rock Nick, right? How much did Hard Rock
Nick?
Yeah.
And unlike Cameo, like I think one of the benefits that we have is Cameo, like they'll do a curated like 30-second video for you for happy birthday and stuff. But imagine if you could actually hop on a call with that person for your birthday for a couple minutes. Like that's another thing that we're going to be really going towards, of like, yes, you can do connections in longer calls. Yes, you can do connections via DM, but also those shorter form connections, I think, will be super helpful and impactful for people in real time.
What I think just like the biggest kind of like threat or kind of, you know, worry from a business standpoint would be that like Twitter integrates premium payment to DMs, or like LinkedIn added premium payment to DMs. What would like a response be to some sort of kind of upgrade to these current platforms that they already live on be?
I mean, like even Telegram already has paid DMs, so it's not just, our platform necessarily isn't just a DM platform. It's to connect with these creators in all these different ways. So obviously, like I said, like we have group chats, we have voice calls, video calls, auctions, live streams. We'll have custom products coming up. Like we'll have a bunch of different ways you can connect with them, and not just via DM, which obviously we know is like the easier way to do it. And then again, like I mentioned, there's the fund speculating component. There's also the escrow component that we can deal with, which I know like a BNB chain tried to spin this up and they messed up completely, but CZ was pushing it and they already died. But like it's very difficult what I feel like we've built and what our devs have built, and like I'm glad to show that we've been successful, and I'm excited for this like Web 2 push to kind of prove it out outside of Web 3.
Yeah, that was actually going to be one of my questions, was about the Binance one or CZ's one, because I know people who like paid to DM him, you know.
There's,
yeah,
I can't believe people did that. Like they lost 50% of their payment, even if the person didn't see or respond. I was like, that is ridiculous.
I mean, it's funny. Like my DMs don't even work on X, so I don't think you have anything to worry about there, man. Half the times I can't even see the people. It's like, it's like the worst system ever. But I really appreciate what you're saying here is that like when these guys get overloaded with DMs, and we all know just because we as small creators even can get completely overrun with DMs. It sure is nice to be able to just say, pass them a link basically, where it's like, you want to talk to me? Here's my DMs, right here. I love that.
Yeah, and honestly, like even things like LinkedIn, like for background, if people don't know, like I actually lead a marketing team at Microsoft right now. So one of the things that I know about LinkedIn is like I can pay for premium to message certain people, but that person receiving it isn't getting paid. They're just getting a LinkedIn message now more than they would normally. And like that's not really a huge benefit for them. But what I do see just being on my side and a bunch of my coworkers and friends at like the Googles and Amazons of the world are like, there's a lot of directors and VPs just getting flooded on LinkedIn as well. And that's another area that I want to tap into. Like this isn't just celebrities. This isn't just trying to reach out to like the Web2 Taylor Swift and Biebers. It's also like, hey, do you want to reach out to the VP of Google or a VP at Microsoft or Meta? Like this is another way you can do that. And it's worth it for that person to actually answer the DMs versus like seeing all the spam on LinkedIn.
So what category is the most requested? As I look at the website, some of the categories include founders, influencers, investors.
Founders, 100%. It's founders. Yeah. A lot of them, most of them is founders, and a lot of them is people who are trying to be new founders, either asking for advice or showing them, what they're working on or whatever.
That makes complete sense. And what's the demand of it look like? How much volume is going through these tokens per day? Or I guess what's the volume of token volume per day or on average? And then how many DMs, or I guess you would say how many redemptions are being issued per day to get in contact with these different people on the platform?
Yeah, man, I should have gone. I don't have my data in front of me. I think our DMs were at like 6,000 or 7,000 recently. So it's about like 1,000 some a month. And then as far as we have, like, if you go to timecapitalmarkets.com, we've added some data there. So like creator earnings are at like 1.03 million right now. Donations close to 500,000. Our burns are at like 200,000, but I think our burns are honestly higher because like it goes based on the minute price. So our burns were like as high as 400,000 at one point. So yeah, as things go up, like you'll see the burn number go up as well. And then obviously the more trades that happen, the more earnings there are all around. So yeah, but right now I'd say the main numbers are over $1 million in creator earnings and about 500,000 donations.
I love leaning into the or attempting to lean into the LinkedIn thing, especially with the ability for those people to donate the funds and then social signal off that donation is fantastic. Like I could see that completely working on LinkedIn. It's like another $1,000 donated, to St. Jude, hit me up in my DMs.
100%.
It's really, it ticks a lot of incentive boxes there. It's just, I love it. I'm now that we're talking to you, I like the idea even more than I liked it before, because you can just see how Web2 people can actually come into it now. I get it now.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, we're designing our app to be as Web2 friendly as possible. Like I mentioned, without even, like, you're not going to have to learn what a wallet is or what Solana is or how to bridge or anything. Like it is going to be very easy. Like, hey, you get paid $20, you get paid $20 USDC, you can withdraw directly to your bank. Easy.
So I'm looking, I have the Time Capital Markets site pulled up. There's 622 markets, $13 million market cap, 172K in supply burned, little over 1 million in earnings and 500K in donations, right? So yeah, about 50% is going to donations. Some of the top earners, Toli with about 400K, Ansem has close to 80K. Cause, is that your guys' founder? Is that the Time founder?
Yeah. Cause is the founder.
Cause is the Time founder, has 50K, and then Raj, the other Solana co-founder, is 60, and Mert with 40. So just giving some numbers.
Pedro's up there. Pedro, you're killing it, bro.
Yeah, you're 20K.
I'm close to 20. Am I 20 yet? Yeah.
20K, yeah.
That's like his part-time job. He's like working full-time on Time.Fun, and then his free time he's on Time.Fun.
Yeah, I love that. That's pretty good. So I guess then, as the platform is today, is there ever going to be a platform token itself? Obviously you have 650 or close to 650 individual tokens, but is there a plan for a token? Is there a way to like farm the system? Obviously you don't have to say all of it if there is some
So
privy
there is
information, but we do have some speculators in the crowd, so
there
give up some
is
info.
all I can legally say is there are points to be farmed, and you can figure out what that might mean in the future. Who knows? But we do points drops every so often, and we look at everything and we change it. We change the criteria every time, but like it has to do with like trades, holding, redemptions, everything from the creator side and the user side. We give a split of the points.
Smart. And if I let's say myself or Adam, who has larger accounts, would want to join Time.Fun, what is the process for a creator? Is this something that has to be approved? Do you submit an application, and is there a curriculum?
It's actually super easy. So, and we actually opened it up for anyone to join, but just to prevent like bots and spamming, we have like it's like a $10 fee to join. But for like anybody else, like anyone can just ping us and we'll give like a code, and then you can just join for free. So like as you're about to sign up, if you just put in the code, it'll just let you do it for free. So like most people just message me or Cause and we just hand them out like candy. Like if you want to join.
Tell me about, because I mean, obviously for creators and this sort of thing, there's been a lot of movements this cycle. This cycle's really been really interesting for content creators and people on X. Tell me what kind of like some of the pain points or the hesitations are, and I'll give you an example, like Pump Fun, right? They want you live streaming, but the pain point is, shoot, do I want a token that I'm going to be beholden to for the rest of my life to, live stream on Pump Fun, right? And so a lot of creators, rightly so, are hesitant to do it because they're worried about that, the negative effects.
Yeah.
So tell me about pain points you've seen and ways what you've done to kind of mitigate or make them feel better about, what they're doing.
Yeah. I think the main one, and probably you guys can predict, is just to the token. But just talking to them about like the utility behind it, and like you can essentially use it as much or as little as you want. Like we have some creators who set it and forget it, meaning they set their DM price. You don't have to turn on every product too, by the way. Like you can just have DMs on, or just group chats, or just calls. Like you can choose whatever you want. But a lot of people just like set their DMs and just get a notification when somebody DMs and comes back. So like you don't have to like worry about as much your market cap, and like you're not like pushing yourself. This is more a connection platform. Just uses obviously crypto as that lever. But some people do kind of like the opposite end and are like super active and are pushing for people to buy and are pushing for people to trade, because they know the more that's active that they are, the more that people buy, the more that money that they make, the more that gets burned, and everyone kind of wins. So like it's really like up to you how much or how little you want to use it. Obviously, I encourage you to use it as much as you want, but it's not like a requirement, I'd say.
Is it like confidential or private between you and the creator? Or like would you be able to, for instance, hop on and like say you get a voice chat with Tolly, are you able to like record that and then use it for like marketing purposes as well? Or is it like, is there terms of service?
Right now, no. Yeah, right now, no. And we don't even have access to those like DMs and stuff, but like we can obviously like hop in the group chats like anybody else could. But yeah, right now, no. And the other thing I was going to mention that I actually forgot to mention is we actually cover gas for everything, whether it's trades or whether it's redemptions or whatever. And part of that reason, again, it was Web2 people. I don't want you to learn that you need to hold a little bit of Solana in your wallet for all this stuff to happen. So that's why we added that code, or added that kind of like $10 thing, because our bots could just flood in and we're covering gas for everything.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Is there any intention to expand to any other chains? Or you guys stick into Solana from now just because it's, I guess, most efficient for processing these like fast transactions?
Yeah, we talked about it, and then at the end of the day, we were saying our overall objective has always been Web 2. Our overall objective has always been the ease for Web 2. So like on our end right now, it just doesn't make sense to go multi-chain when, again, under the hood, most people shouldn't even know what this is anyway.
Yeah. Let's dive into the Web 2. I'm interesting. We've seen a handful of products really dive into various aspects of Web 2, right? Like Pudgy Penguins going into kind of the Walmart and selling different types of plushies. And I think there's a few other ones. What's the approach to Web 2? Are you going straight to content creators? And like, what's the pitch to say, hey, sell your time here versus sell a course on XYZ site?
Yeah, I think the main pitch is just around the connection point that we've had. Like I've talked to a bunch of people, like I mentioned, at those smaller companies, or not smaller companies, just like not big creators, but big people at bigger companies. Those people, the main pitch, you kind of go around the, hey, get paid for your time. Like you're getting a shit ton of DMs on LinkedIn. Like this is a place where you can actually get paid for it, or donate that money, but you can be more active there. Whereas if it's a creator, like a live streamer, it's like, hey, you can live stream here, have a more direct connection with somebody. If it's just a normal creator who's on the Cameo, that's like, hey, this is more of a way where you can have a direct connection with them in real time. So it's really like tailored, because a product we offer so many different products that help with connection points, and obviously different creators do different things. So we kind of try to tailor the messaging based on who they are and what kind of connections they've had in the past.
Are you looking, so obviously with Web3, you've done a good job of focusing on important creators, totally Amson. But like for Web2, are you trying to do like more B2B things? Like obviously if you got LinkedIn to like buy into this, it would be a home run, right? But are you looking at it that way, or are you looking at it, no, let's just try and go whatever, kind of towards the creators, the CEOs, head of
Yeah,
product?
it's more individuals.
Okay.
I'll say with for now, it's more individual focused. It's more creators and people that people want to connect with. Not to say in the future that might not change or that we haven't discussed it, but right now the focus is just connections between people.
Yeah, we have this discussion internally all the time. Whenever we enter a new sector or build a new product, is it a bottom up approach? Is it a top down approach? And then also you have to weigh in kind of what's the response. And a lot of times, when you're entering a new sector, the majority of businesses are not going to partner with you, right? Because essentially they consider you poaching
For sure.
their customer, unless there's some sort of like collaborative opportunity to grow the pie. So here you go in and talk to them on an individual basis, and the incentive essentially is like, come to our platform because you are essentially leaving money on the table by not utilizing this, versus saying, hey, come to our platform and we'll pay you, thousands of dollars or whatever it is a
For
month
sure.
to use it.
For sure. And like you'll see like all the people that are posting and stuff, like we have not paid for their posts. Like a lot of people just understand that like the more people that come, the more money they make, right? So it's kind of like a win-win for them, where we don't have to, I guess, incentivize people to join by throwing money at them. It's more, hey, do you see the value in this? You will make money if you do this. Like Zeneca signed up last week, I think made $3,000 on the first day. So did Mika, just on trading volume alone. So like those things are things that like in itself can drive people here.
Yeah.
Who it's kind of interesting because you really don't like the top social influencers are just kind of like too big for like platforms in general, probably. And then like obviously there's like a threshold for the minimum. Like going into Web2, who would be like some of your preferred top creators that you'd think would do the best on the platform, whether it's like business associates or kind of companies or founders, investors, or like who's like your Mount
I
Rushmore
mean,
of people that you would get
I know you mentioned like that the top might not be attainable, but like that's kind of our goal, our stretch goal is like,
I think
hey,
you
we
said
have
that.
that
You were like
donation component.
you
Yeah,
said
we
that.
have the donation component. So like a Justin Bieber or a Taylor Swift could join, not take any hit to their brand because they're donating all of it, and they could connect with more people that want to connect with them. So like that's like our ultimate goal, is like getting to that level. And then like on the company founder side, obviously like S&P 500 founders, things like that.
I didn't mean it as like a slight to your platform. I just meant like how much
Oh yeah, I
how many hours
understand.
is Justin Bieber going to spend on the platform? Like probably just like not that many, right?
Well,
Especially these
that's actually another product that we're building is, and totally actually requested this, is it's essentially like auctions for DMs and calls. So Totally used to be super active in DMs, but obviously he's like super busy. So what if he could just auction off like a 30-minute spot every second Thursday of the month for a phone call with somebody?
I just wonder what those DMs are going to like, what they are. Obviously they're private, but they're either going to be like nonsense. I don't know, like,
pitch.
I mean, most of them are like legit founders pitching.
yeah, but I mean, like what's someone going to send Justin Bieber for $50,000 on the auction? Like, I love you. Like, it's definitely going to be like, and I love you. Or like,
actually, I was thinking of, it occurred to me a fantastic use case, Web3 native right now is Thread Guy, right? So Thread Guy, I don't know if you saw his post yesterday, but basically created a media company or a streaming company, I guess you'd call it, where he's going to do multiple shows, a week, five days a week. Each of those shows has 3 guests. one really interesting thing. I mean, because everybody wants to get on his show because he's basically the biggest streamer in Web3, right? And you realize you're going to get in front of, you know, however many thousands of Web3 holders and degens and the rest of it. And the way he does it now, he's like, who wants to come on? And it's literally 400 people mentioning their meme coin founder or their project or whatever, to filter through that. Literally, he said yesterday he's hiring a guy, you know, for $10,000 a month to basically be his filter for him, right?
So we've talked to him a bunch. We were actually on one of his streams. Yeah, we actually were on one of his streams, I think 2 weeks ago, talking about Time.Fun. But yeah, we've talked about that as well. Like,
I mean, because like it's like, why not do a sponsor to everyone? You know, one out of every three you paid for it on Time.Fun. You know what I mean? It's just,
yeah. I mean, obviously we'd love to do that. We've been talking to him consistently. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's definitely something that we want to do, and definitely something we've already pitched. So great minds think alike.
Yeah, one of my buddies, Travis Chappell, tried to start a Web2 version of that where you can book podcasts. It was called Guestio. It got a lot of funding, but I think just failed quite miserably. The vetting process is hard, and when I tried to use it, it was lots of spams, and the messaging back and forth took too long between trying to book and stuff like that. So
yeah, and also it's like the worry of like who ends up winning. Like I talked to like Laura Shin. She's a creator on Time.Fun as well. She hosts the Unchained podcast, and one of our things was like, hey, maybe you could auction off a spot on there. And then her biggest worry was, what if somebody just throws a bunch of money and then they're like a scammer or a bad guy? So then like what happens, you know?
Yeah, and getting into the vetting process is tough.
It's like the reality is how many scammers has she had on her show, right? At least they're paying, you know. At least they're paying this time around, and it wasn't, you know. It's so funny, like just thinking about that. It's like even Thread Guy, right? Of course, he's had tons of scammers on his show, right? Because he has a lot of guests. You're gonna get scammers, right? So
sure.
It's interesting. It's an interesting problem.
Or like North Korea, like Lazarus Group, just like filtering, like paying themselves to talk to themselves to like push a bunch of money through the platform. I don't know. There's a bunch of kind of crazy roundabout things that you can get, like a lot of people moving a lot of money through the platform in pretty interesting ways. What a concept. I love the idea.
I have one final question from my side. It's more about kind of the speculation. Is like all the traders and all the community that, you know, kind of gathers around Time.Fun. What are the type of things generally that they're looking for? What do they discuss? Is it more like product development that they're pushing on you guys? Is it adding new creators to the platform? And just
honestly, it depends. All of the above. It depends on the person, but yeah, a lot of it is product roadmap. When's the app coming out? When's whatever. A lot of it before was, when is Totally going to have an auction? When is Anthem going to have an auction? And then after they've had it, it moves on to the next thing. When is the new creator? So like, there's always people that are in there asking for things, but like honestly, that's exciting because like, that means that they care and they want to see more and they want to use it more. So like I welcome the wins, but I get a million wins a day.
Assessing the win crowd is important to understand what's the friction point.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe last one from me, just, you know, we know that there's nothing cooler than working for like a fun, innovative startup that's kind of trying to do pretty cool stuff. And you wear a ton of hats. And so maybe like, how's your day spent? What's like your focus on, and kind of like, what's a day in the life of Pedro? Because obviously you're a happy guy. You enjoy your life. You're not a miserable like grinder. You're grinding, but obviously it's fun for you. So what's a day in the life look like?
Hey, sorry, can you ask that again? Because I got a call in the middle of that and lost you.
Yeah, man. Just, you know, like obviously we're happy-go-lucky people. We're building something that we truly believe in, and obviously that's pretty obvious that you're doing the same. And so, like, what's you know, we wear many hats in the startup game. What's a day in the life of Pedro look like? Building.
Honestly, it really depends. I think a lot of people in Web3 think of like marketing as like Twitter marketing, but just coming from like a like traditional marketing background, it's really wearing a lot of hats. Like a normal day will be like outreach, creating content or videos. We'll have strategy meetings. I'll meet with like partners, like bigger Web2 and Web3 companies. Then I'll do a meeting on design to try to design our iOS app or our web platform. Then it'll be like analytics to improve the platform. Then it'll be some more awareness or distribution plays. Like it's just like no day is the same, and that's again why it kind of makes it exciting and fun.
Love it, man. Well, Time.Fun is lucky to have you. You're a great spokesman, and obviously you can tell that you really love what you're doing.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
You guys.
Really appreciate it. Loved learning more about it. You know, it feels like this is, you know, the timing's perfect for this. I think, you know, getting back to Adam B. Levine in whatever 2016 and 17. That was just way, way, way too early, right? You guys,
Dude, you know what's funny about that? Like, not to go on like a completely random tangent, but like one of my favorite stories about PNG is that they launched Tide Pods like in 1960, and it fucking bombed, and like
Really?
nobody wanted it, and was like, "What is this shit?" And then like 30 years
Yeah.
later, it's the #1 thing and the only thing people buy. So yeah, timing is definitely important.
timing and framing. My favorite one is the air fryer, right? I have an air fryer. Everybody
yeah.
call it an air fryer. Bro, those things have been around for 70 years, right? Convection ovens just needed a rebrand to air fryers, right? It's like if you hit those things right, you can have a super winner, and hopefully you guys are able to do that. So thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Hey, shoot me a message if you want a Time.Fun code so you can join.
Yeah, definitely. I will consider that. Appreciate everyone who joined us today. Make sure to follow Pedro and follow Time.Fun so you can see all the cool stuff that's happening in the time markets. Also, make sure to follow Agent Hustle, which is our AI project that's been getting a lot of attention recently as we continue to build forward in the Solana ecosystem. I hope everyone has a safe and fun Thursday and the rest of the weekend. We'll be back next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Until then, stay safe out there.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Later.